Hey, you tourists, it's your boy Domination. This is back in the basics. This is how we do text, baby. Man, that's us back. You know what it is. It is. The only place, all the place, all the place, all the place gonna get it. Only place gonna get it. Only place gonna get it. Only place gonna get it is right back in basics. Chuck the deuce is how we do text, baby. Man, that's us back. You know what it is. It is. Real man rise up, fake man rise down. Real woman rise up, fake woman rise down. For the word preacher, preach on. And today's topic to talk about is I want to talk about do magic, but it's kind of like casting spells. Is it ever possible? Can you cast spells to somebody? I believe so. The reason why I say this because I believe you can't cast spells on somebody. The reason why I say that a lot of times because I don't know. It's hard to believe. You ever think sometimes like look at Aleister Crowley? Guess what he have in his hand? That's the dove. He sacrificed for a dove for Satan, man. For Satan. And this is the wickedest man in America. Did you know not only a lot of rock and roll pioneers pay homage to this man, but not only all these music genres, even Jay-Z inspired this man right here. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Jay-Z, Jay-Z is a Luciferian, believe it or not. He actually done well. That's why he called himself Hoba Jehovah. And Aleister Crowley is not only he created a sex revolution, but he created sex and magic and the New Age movement. If you don't believe me, you can look it up because there's a documentary. People still practice Aleister Crowley teach and still does to this day. Even David Bowie is one of the main one of the artists to practice his influencery of Aleister Crowley, especially his albums, his music, the whole nine. He's a Luciferian also because Luciferian is becoming your own god, your own idolized goddess. If you ever look at the show called Are You Afraid of the Dark? I remember this show. I watched this a lot of times. That was when the year 1994 to 1993. I was about 12, 11 years old looking at this because it was about magic. It was about magic. Because if you don't know what a magic is, the definition of magic is something you can cast spells and cast spells upon. That's what magic is. Basically is another word you put among them to get them to do something they expect they ain't supposed to do, but you expect them to do it. It's like that, but it's an opposite attraction of that. So you have to be careful about magic because a lot of times people practice this. Why you think they even said that Michael Jackson, the great of the greatest pioneer of music entertainment. He's not only the king of the pop, he's the king of music for all the greats. They say he moved like magic. Everything he does. But I always wonder, did he ever cast a spell on himself? Look how he do the moonwalk and all this other stuff. Because Michael really down with this in his early prime of his years. Yeah, at first when he was trying to get out of it and it cost his life. But rest in peace to the man. He didn't deserve what happened to him. So, but what I'm saying is this, man, I think magic is forbidden. It really is because in Christianity, God is against magic. God is really against it. But there are people out there still practice of this magic and this magic sorcery and sorcery Mr. Parmy and Mr. Arkham, Mr. Schools. And they still run other country, even here in the United States. If you don't believe me, even schools been practiced that schools of preaching of magic. That's something they ain't gonna tell you. But always gotta want. It's just like giving a woman an apple. Anytime when you give a woman an apple, expect her it's the opposite of attraction of sex. A lot of people don't know that. When you get a girl to eat an apple, you could basically she wants you. She wants to have sex with you and make it legal to y'all can get naked and have sex. But y'all gotta permit it to only to get married. But if you unpermitted it, you ain't commit to marriage to the Lord. Because some people think that if you don't have sex, you can eventually go to hell. And spread disease and stuff like that. I'm telling you, people been known for some of the stuff they're doing. When I was young, I didn't believe none of this stuff, but looking back at it, it can be possible. It could be possible. Look at the movies, for crying out loud. Movies, they form magic. They form of it magic. Everything they does inform to magic, and some of the magic they do. If it's not that, then what the hell is it then? Then explain this to me, people. Explain this to me. If it's not that, what the hell it is then? Tell me. I'm still waiting on it. Because anything can be possible. Even Kabbalah believed this. Even from yoga, Buddha, Hindu, or whatever you want to call it. They actually believe this kind of magic. Oh yeah, over there in Africa, over there in Europe, over there in any other country, sometimes Asia, they really practice this belief about if you can control the magic, you can make the magic control to do anything and other and track young people's minds and track the other people's mind instead of yourself and anyone else. So be very careful when you use magic. Because once you play with magic, the magic's gonna play games off to you. So I'm not down with this kind of magic stuff. I never into that. I believe in the Lord, but this kind of stuff it's just crazy when you think about this. But you ever think you could cast a spell not only upon yourself but cast a spell upon other people? It's based on video games, movies, cartoons, the whole nine. That's something to really need to think about right there, though. But if you don't believe me, all this, I mean, take a look at that the Greeks they really practice this magic belief, especially the Greeks and the Rome. They really do. Those are the original Democrats, Republicans, right there. A lot of people don't even know that. Before Thomas and Jefferson and John Madison, that before those guys did it. A lot of people don't know that. But if you don't believe me, you can do your research and look it up all this information for yourself. But in some of the times that in our society, I never believe in this kind of magic that some brothers and sisters it does. I really don't. But look at there, that explains why. Why you think that I'll never forget Sierra had a song called Love and Sex and Magic. Love and Sex and Magic. And and always wonder, it's like they have a sex magical, they have a sexual magical touch. And then you got Robin Thicke called Magic. And there's another one by Jerry Lewis, Magic. We all connected like magic, where we glow and glow like a magical wands and stuff. I mean, look at Hollywood. Hollywood has been known for practice magic and spookyism. A lot of people don't know when you say Hollywood is come from the wood out of the wood of a wand, a magic wand. I know it's hard to believe. I didn't believe this either, but then look at it. No wonder the original name of Hollywood. Hollywood. You can look all this stuff up because it's kind of crazy at the while. I mean, look at Las Vegas. Las Vegas practice magic shows. I was watching a show called Mind Freak by Christian Angel, and he did these magical mystical things that he was doing, and I always wonder, and it hit me, is it real or he just practice this poker game at us? But it had to be both. But at the same time, you can make a trading card and make it disappear and pull somebody's ear off. It's like that, but at the same thing as Hugh Beauty when he trapped himself, he buried himself alive, and he probably got out of it. But some say he never did it, so he died of this magic trick that he was doing. And I'm gonna show you this. If you don't know that Beyonce, right? Remember Beyonce? She had a record called 7-Eleven, and this is Kata. Kata is in the way she was doing that dance, and I knew the dance is called the dance of death. If you don't know this is what Beyonce was doing, and I can reconcile. And she had a T-shirt named Kata, like she want to be worshipped. See, Beyonce gonna be Beyonce. She's not goddesses. She just Beyonce. Jay-Z just gonna be Jay-Z. I don't care what they are. They're not gods. And same thing when it comes to Katy Perry and Justin Bieber. They are not gods. They are people. They just do things just to spite people, to spite them to get something to do. And after a while, then you got to ask yourself, or sometimes, if to me, people don't need to be practiced this magic. I think it's forbidden to do this. I would not do this. Not no love, sex, and magic. Not no ritual magic. Not none of the magic of these organized for magics they doing. I mean, if you look at it, some people think they can read off your fortune. It's just like a fortune cookie. It could tell of the fortune of your adventure of your future, and they can see your future of the times that to be in what you're gonna do. Some people are good at that. They psychopath and mystical off the path. They can tell your fortune. Some people, it's based on logic and magic. And a lot of times, and you might not want to believe this, but you always have to wonder, if it's magic is not real, then why is it present in pop culture? It present in pop culture because it always it makes me wonder sometimes, because in music that they do, it's like you hear music, like, how can I say this, when they even put it in music. Music got magic in some ways. Some say that if you play the record backwards, you can understand what they're really saying. It's like speaking meaning of backwards. It's like that what I say. Some say that these music artists, they do magic. And some of the things they're doing, and the things they obviously doing, they shouldn't have been doing it. I just think if you do magic, man, just don't do magic. It's kind of dangerous, because after a while, it's crazy right there that a lot of people doing this in the sex industry, the music industry, the sports industries, the sports industry doing that kind of this. I mean, even in basketball, and I know it ain't logical belief, but they do stuff just to be doing stuff, And I mean, a lot of people do not want to believe this. Look at Walt Disney. Walt Disney into magic. Oh yeah, especially the movie called Fantasia with Mickey Mouse, when he put all these casting spells about it, and the stuff he was doing. Because Walt Disney not only been known as child pedophilia and child porn and subliminal and secret hidden subliminal message, they've been known for not only of the certain cast of music, cast of magic, And I stopped watching Walt Disney because I noticed it that they cast spells on somebody. I mean, ever since the incident that Jay-Z and his wife and his wife's sister, Salome Moore, whatever her name is, I forgot her name. They started to get into fights and stuff. And Beyonce just standing near the corner, like she would just fade herself way out. She was in subliminal of mind control. Like she was just so far gone. She was so far gone, and it was kind of sad. Then again, she probably got a lot of things in her mind. But ain't no telling. Even Egypt down with this kind of stuff about bringing back people to the dead and all this other stuff and this and that. And I know it's hard to believe this kind of stuff, believe me. But you always wonder, but why they believe this kind of stuff in the first place? They believe this kind of stuff because it get them something to suture human being powers. Something that's always been wanted to gravitate to talk about. I never do a certain trick that I do. If I did, I don't know. I wouldn't know how I do it. How do I prove that off? Because at some ways, some people do believe in magic. Some people do believe it. Most majority of people believe this. Quite a few people don't believe it. But I'm telling you, this kind of stuff is actually kind of real in in the ways of pop culture. Excuse me, son. I just ate. But you know, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, kind of believe this kind of stuff because I will never want to do this certain type of magic that people are doing. It's just it just gets you bizarred. Like you just couldn't believe what people are actually does. Like the whole world has just been twisted and twisted off. They go twisted nuts, and but a lot of people paid towards that, and and after a while, it gets you to thinking. Look at Halloween. Halloween has been known for devil's holiday, devil magical that witch casting spells, and then you walking around bad cats that give you bad luck. A lot of people actually kind of believe in this whole magic. If you have magic, you can make a magic things. Everything you touch is turned to gold and turned to silver. A lot of people kind of believe that kind of nonsense, but some people actually does kind of believe it. Me, I doesn't, because it's in some ways that people does, but I doubt it. But I believe so, maybe so. But the whole thing, I just think it's forbidden to do this whole magic stuff, and it's kind of dangerous when actually people kind of do this kind of stuff. Not only that politicians done this, celebrities, porn stars, regular day, everyday working people do this. Even women, even men, even children sometimes, they do magic. No wonder why these kids into magic shows like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Forget all that. They'll chop a chainsaw and chop somebody to living off of pieces every piece of Reese's that when they break those pieces off, they never fall apart. It's this thing that but why is it celebrated in America's pop culture? And not only to glorify to movies, to video games, to porno industry, the whole nine. They actually practice this spook and spookanomism and this whole kind of thing. I mean, if you don't believe me, because of kind of this, man, you got to look at this. Some people will put spells on people, like love spells. You make the person fall in love with you. If a woman blow a kiss in your lip, you be dramatizing that kiss, and that woman just couldn't be off your mind. Same thing when it comes to men want to touch that woman. When men touch that woman, he gonna make her his bright eyes in his eyes. And I know it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but tell me this. They come up with mixed with certain potion, magic potion, and stuff like that. Some people say about, the Cabbage Patch Kids is based on magic. And all these other things that people do. Some say the Nazi practice magic. I mean, it is kind of crazy. What else that people practice magic of? What else? What else people practice? I just think it's forbidden to learn this type of stuff because that's going against God and going against the whole entire of creation and creative humanity of God. That's what I think what it is. And if you don't believe this, why they promote this? It's like they're trying to tell you that some even in news reporters. All news reporters is nothing but news videos recordings. That's all it is. They put a damn pop into a tape and put it in the news over there in the global satellite, in the global universe in the world to make people watch this type of stuff. You don't believe me? You can look this up. Some say that the satellite is fake. If satellite is fake, then what is it then? What else they do? I mean, this whole thing, even in some of the church done this type of stuff. They done this kind of magic. From Catholic to Christianity to Jehovah, the whole thing, the whole nine. People down, even Luciferians religion that believe this kind of stuff. But in the Bible, people, God is against it. God is against the magic because you make people do things they shouldn't. You can't make everybody do things they ain't expecting what they supposed to do. They got to expect what they purpose, what they got to expect to do. But you expect them to do what they want to do. See, this is this whole thing about what magic is all about. This whole thing that you your own God, you your own power, you your own insanity, humanity, this whole universe. If you don't believe it, this whole like the Vatican City, this whole thing. Some actually into this, some sex change of having sex with having sex with sporting, having sex with children, and that's some sick stuff. Some would drain out of their blood for they can live more young again. That's vampirism. This whole thing about magic. This whole thing, they'll sacrifice animal sacrifice for they can make it more alive, make it be me known that I'm here to make a statement and station myself. I mean, believe me, I don't want to believe this myself, but if it can be possible, then why is it put it in these people? Why they put it in these movies? For crying out loud. They being put it in movies for crying out loud. They put it in movies. Then you got to ask yourself that. You got to ask yourself that question. If magic is not real, then why they program us in a very young age to think it's okay to more acceptable to practice magic? The only thing I want to practice is put my trust and faith in God. That's it. This whole thing that people are doing, I'm not down with it. I'm really not. I'm really not down with this type of stuff. But hey, that's their thing. That's what they do. But it's against of certain creation of God. I just think it's against it. It just don't make no sense. They put it in movies, in video games, and all this other stuff to get you to think that you can use magic. You can cast spells and put spells upon people and put upon towards not only yourself but everybody else. Because that's what magic is. Magic is based upon just wicked and evil and all this other stuff that people are doing. That's all it is. That's all it is. What to get them destructed and out of productive, instructed to do. And they can be structurized and structurized of people. That's all it is when people do magic. And it's forbidden for doing this. It's forbidden. It's been practiced to preach of this against of all the nature of God, man. Some people don't believe in God. Some people think they're their own God, but all they is want to be like God or against God. That's all it is. When people say that I'm my own God, you're really saying you're against it. That's all it is. I mean, look at this. Like Harry Potter. Harry Potter is based on a boy, as that's as based on his life quest or mission by getting at the Voldemort, whatever his name, put a wicked curse mark upon him, and he killed his parents. Like he was a good wizard, and Voldemort was a dark lizard, a dark wizard, practice upon and pass it and bring the death upon everybody. Because that's what this whole magic school is, to teach you to trick the people, to get them to do something they expect that they ain't supposed to be doing. But they got to do what they got to do what they purpose to do instead of doing what they want to do. I watched Harry Potter. I watched part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4 or 5. Last Harry Potter movie. And it won, and they market him like this SS, like it's a Nazi mark symbol for zap something like that. It's like adapted to electricity device of some. I forgot what the symbol he had in his head. And it always hit me like, what is this woman is trying to say about this story about Harry Potter? What is it saying? Like casting magic, casting spells at people is okay to get kids to do that, that believe in magic? Because all dreaming is false hope and being a clown buffoon. It's buffoon. If you believe this kind of stuff, and all it is when they believe the lie on magic. The only magic I'm working on is with magic and trust my faith. That's the worth kind of magic I'm worth it. But if I put up cast a spell on somebody to get them to do something that I expect them to command them to do, that's just wrong. That's only magic I know. But this other magic some people do, it's just wrong. I mean, voodoo. Voodoo is just evil. People say it's good, just putting sticking needles to people and come on, voodoo dog. I mean, look at the movie like Child Play. It's based on Charles Lee Ray getting back from the dead and killed a detective cop trying to assassinate him, trying to arrest him and all that because of attempted a murder. And trying to bring the boy, and not only been trying to bring himself to, and translate to the boy's body and kill him before he say it. And if you don't believe me, look at the movie, because the movie tells itself. And what's so crazy about it, they practice very program to get people to believe to do this kind of magic. And it gets you kind of wonder sometimes. It gets you wonder like, are they just playing mind games and playing games of mind? The only magic I believe is trust my faith in the Lord up there. That's it. Even if you don't believe in a God or not, but forget all this other thing to doing magic. That's what Lucified and Luciferium and buryment. That's all it is. You bring yourself to the barrier of the light. That's all this stuff is, man. That's all it is. And this is all voodoo is nothing but black magic. That's all it is. Even in practice in Haiti to Africa to New Orleans, even Jamaica. And I'm telling you something. Not every blacks actually do this, but many times they do. Even white communities do this. And even New Orleans been known for voodoo parades. I mean, they have it every year. Every year. This one woman told me this man put a voodoo mark, a purse upon her, that not only that she was too much attracted to him like a track man, she married him. She didn't like him at first, but he did something to her to get her to put some kind of I couldn't explain, some kind of spook a spark on her to get her to re-adapt to him. And it's crazy. It's crazy. I never forget she told me that. And you got to look at that. Look at that. And look at sorcery. Sorcery. Sorcery is white magic. And some white people believe in sorcery, man. Cuz black magic is voodoo and sorcery is sorcery. No, sorcery is white magic and voodoo is black magic. See, this is what love and sex and magic, this whole thing about between a black man and a white woman and a black woman with a white man. And you hear that all your life. You hear it all the time. You hear it all the time, man. Because I seen one of the songs and over there and searching on YouTube that Solo Santana had a song called Black Magic Woman. Black Magic Woman. He talking about a black woman. And it gets you to think. It gets you to think sometimes that maybe magic is bringing a cast of spells is probably real. But you probably thinking, man, it's crazy. Who in the world gonna believe? Yeah, but then again, you got to look at these people, certain actions they probably does, to why they believe the certain things they believe, and you always have to wonder yourself sometimes that that's something that I just would not anticipate to do. Just do magic. I just think it's forbidden. I think it's dangerous. and I just think it's evil, just something to do magic. I don't know what you think, but what did I think from this? It just I wouldn't do it. I just would not do it. It's just not worth it because at the end of the day, I got other things to go on with myself just to do that because you know you always have to wonder something that you do and something that you does in your life, and you just go life and beyond life. That's it. You know, give me your comments and give me your real response and tell me what you think this issue. Do you think magic is just real, or just a false lie, falsifies to believe? Because they get everybody to believe that. Do you believe in magic? I mean, because you hear records like, do you believe in magic? Anything, like make everything magic, dreams, make magic possible to follow the dreams. But fools is just for suckers. Let's be honest about that. And and a lot of times they very program people at a very young age that it's okay to do magic and do illogical magic touch, and all this other stuff. It's kind of ridiculous at the end of the day, but people actually kind of believe this. They believe in this kind of nonsense. I sure as hell doesn't. I don't know about you. The only magic I believe in the Lord. All this other stuff, come on, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous that people believe in this certain magic. They believe magic putting spells on people and basically, in other words, just expect people to do something they don't want to do, but and they expect what they're supposed to do, but they expect them to do what they want to do, and that's all the magic. What really it is, get people to do something they just don't want to do. That's all magic is really about. Just put a force on people that they ain't put to be force into. That's just what it is. And other than that, you tell me if it's not it, then what else is then? Why they get us to believe this kind of stuff in the first place? Because I sure as hell doesn't. But looking at it, it could be possible if you really think about it. Because when people do stuff, they do stuff all the time. You could say it is crazy, is hideous and bizarrement, but yet most people do believe in magic. Most people believe it, even from Hollywood, even in over there in New Orleans, Jamaica and Europe and the whole nine. This whole thing. Why you think they in Europe they called Europe the Dark Ages at the time? Because there was a lot of financial ages that's been going on in Europe at that time. People were dealing with poverty, people were dealing with crime, people were dealing with a lot of things that's going on. If it's nothing else that I can say anything more, so give me your address, all right? All right. And it's your boy Domination, that's back at the base, and you're going to do so. We do take back until next time, all right? All right. And peace, and I'm out.